On this episode of Bobscaping, we're going to talk about how to use a snow thrower. Here we see a 8 horsepower, 26-inch width, in this case a Simplicity snow thrower. Actually 24-inch I see here. The ones I used to have were 26-inch. And this is what they call a 2-stage snow thrower. You can see it has this auger assembly in the front that feeds the snow toward the center, and then this part, the second stage, spins to throw the snow up the chute. Now, when you're using this kind of a machine, you can adjust this chute to raise or lower the height that the snow is thrown. And what we find over the years is that if it's windy, you want to keep the chute aimed down lower so the wind doesn't catch the snow. And on heavier snows, usually you want to have this up as high as possible because the heavy snow doesn't tend to get thrown as far. Now, on winterization of a snow thrower, you always want to be sure to drain your gas and or add stabilizer. There is fuel stabilizer to help fuel that sits for several months. And of course, a snow thrower sits just about longer than any other machine that you use outdoors, so it's very important to do that. Our procedure usually involved adding some fuel stabilizer, running the machine for a while to get it in the system, then draining the rest of the gas, starting the snow thrower up again, and running the machine dry. And over the years that has worked real well. And of course, when you put a snow thrower away after a day's use, you want to turn off the fuel. Okay, for our startup procedure, we've already turned the fuel petcock on, and we have slid the throttle out about halfway. The next key is to prime the snow thrower engine enough times, usually about 6 or 7 times is enough. Then you want to fully activate the choke and give it a good pull. Turn your choke back off. Helps to let them warm up for a little bit. If they try to stall, you could always prime them a couple more times. Now, when it comes to operation of the snow thrower, this one has a crank assembly to turn the chute in whichever direction you want to blow the snow. Also has a gear shift with 5 forward speeds and 2 in reverse. Usually you want to regulate your speed to a comfortable walking speed, plus whatever the machine can handle. If you try to go too fast, the machine doesn't have enough time to process the snow. Sometimes you'll hear the belts start to squeal, and it's harder on the machine. So on heavier snows, come down to lower gear, and on lighter snows with less depth, you can go up to a 3rd gear, maybe even 4th gear. And then the higher gear is mostly for transporting between locations, longer distances. So today we have about 3 or 4 inches of snow. We're going to start in 2nd gear and go from there. a driveway like this one, you usually had to push everything to the left, going up and back. Okay, we can see the snow plow has been through, so you have this heavier buildup next to the end of the driveway. That usually requires low gear or starting and stopping the machine to get that heavy snow moved. Driveway requires most of the snow to be moved to the right-hand side due to the neighbor's driveway being to the left. The main thing you want to try to do is not to pile snow on top of itself, because when you get to that area, it's going to be harder to remove due to the extra volume of snow. Okay, a little bit of shovel work and we'll take care of the rest of the snow. Before you put your machine away, you want to clean off excess snow. Make sure you turn your gas off, and especially if you're storing this in an unheated building, you want to clean out your augers so that so they don't freeze up and become immovable. Use a broom or a whisk broom. This is a window scraper. Just get that excess snow out. Okay. for this episode of Bobscaping. This is Bob.